Lesson 1. Have a purpose. 2 years back, I was invited to a New Year's celebration with my friends. For the whole weekend, I spent more time with my nose in books than I did socializing. When I worked in a vineyard, I'd listen to audiobooks for 7 hours straight every day. On drives home from work, I'd listen to the audiobook As a Man Thinketh by James Allen on repeat. Basically, wherever there was a book, I was there. Often I would read a book for the sake of becoming more intelligent, but in retrospect, that was an illusion. I've read the book Cosmos by Carl Sagan, but if you asked me just one big thing I've learnt from the book, I probably couldn't tell you. That's because I read it with no real purpose. For this reason, I've put more effort into reading purposefully. I just finished reading .com Secrets by Russell Brunson, an outstanding book on internet marketing. The subject is directly relevant to my life right now because I'm preparing to market my own digital products. Lesson 2. Major arguments and evidence matter more than the details. I'm currently reading Learned Optimism by Martin Seligman. He writes facts and figures to illustrate the results of his optimism experiments. Martin simply uses these to support the bigger idea, and that idea is that there is strong evidence we can all learn to be optimistic. Pay attention to the ends of paragraphs and chapters for the most important information. The third lesson is to use multiple modes. Writing, talking, and visualizing helps you remember what you read. This is why these book summaries are so effective. You not only get words on a screen, but you hear what the book is about with illustrations included. As a creator, I get the additional benefit of writing a script about the book and recording a voiceover of what I learnt, which further ingrains the lessons into my head. Lesson 4. Take time to process. This gives your mind time to store it in memory. I remember reading 5 books in the first week of January. I forgot a lot of what I read because I didn't take breaks, so don't make that mistake. It's much more effective to take time to actually apply the lessons immediately after, rather than overload your brain with more information. The 5th lesson is to focus on high-value content. This is a technique Tai Lopez uses. For those of you who don't know, he runs the largest book club in the world and drives his Lamborghini in the Hollywood Hills. High-value content are elements of a book that you can extract the most information from with the least amount of effort. The title, blurb, table of contents, illustrations, and bold headings are all elements that give you the important stuff. Keep in mind that authors often have to fill the book with more information than necessary, so a lot of the content in the books are backed with more examples than needed. In my unpopular opinion, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle is a classic example of this. I didn't need to read 200 pages of jibber jabber to tell me to live in the present moment. With that said, let's move on to lesson 6. Read more than once. This is self-explanatory. The more you read, the more you'll remember. Personally, I would only reread books that truly impacted your life. Don't waste time rereading boring books. Lesson 7. Know the author. Understand that authors and publishers can be driven by incentives that make their work biased. As an ebook publisher myself, I know there are tons of authors without any clue what they're talking about. Oftentimes, ghostwriters are hired who do research and write about a subject, but have no real experience to back it with. No disrespect to publishers, you can get ghostwriters to write amazing books. I'm just cautioning readers to do research about the author. Lesson 8. Understand the context. Understand when a book was written and why. For example, Dream Psychology by Sigmund Freud was written during a time when no one really knew what the hell dreams were. So don't believe everything you read. Also consider modern dream psychology books often have ideas based on Sigmund Freud's ideas, but his ideas aren't necessarily correct. The final lesson is to question what you read. When I first started reading books, I would rarely question anything. The truth is, all ideas in books come from people like you and me. They are subject to mistakes, errors, and human biases. Like many other readers, I was skeptical about some of the lessons in Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus by John Gray. You can find your book on goodreads.com and look at the reviews to see what other people are saying. You'll be surprised at what you can learn from other readers. And now for a bonus. I got a comment from a subscriber called SAMI. Here's what SAMI says. I have a question, buddy. Is it okay to watch summary and reviews of the book if it gives you all the information and the gold nuggets from the book, or not? So basically, SAMI wants to know, is it worth reading a book when he can just watch a video summary? And that's a fantastic question. I don't believe there is a right or wrong answer, but here's my take on it. If there's a particular book summary that truly resonates with you, and it's directly relevant to your current situation, then it may be worth reading. For example, if you have a burning problem in your relationship, and you watch a book summary that resonates with you, then it may be worth reading the whole book. I'd suggest looking at reviews on goodreads.com. Anything under a rating of 3.7 probably isn't worth your time. Also check out what real readers had to say about the book. I recommend reading the most credible books in a particular category. So for example, I'd recommend Rich Dad Poor Dad and Think and Grow Rich if you want to become wealthy. These are timeless classics and well worth being read front to back even if you've watched a summary. You'll be spending more time ingraining the lessons into your head, and there may be some parts that resonate with you more than what you saw in the summary. Now let's go over the 9 lessons we covered in this video. Have a purpose, major arguments matter more than details, use multiple modes, take time to process, focus on high value content, read more than once, know the author, understand the context, and question what you read.